Hello again. Once again, I bring to you a game that Magnus Carlsen has played in black versus Sasha Martinovic. Again, Martinovic is about ELO rating 2548, while Carlsen obviously is quite up in the 2800s, 2847 or so. Excuse me. And here I give you the perspective of black because Magnus Carlsen is playing in black. Excuse me. Got a little frog in my throat. Yes, that's human. We are human, we cough. And I am not erasing this or editing because that gives more texture to this video. Anyway, normally you see the white on the bottom and the black on top. Well, today I've decided to show you how, what the black does. It's easier to see. There's too many out there that just showed the regular way of seeing things, and I'm giving you the black's perspective, which is Magnus Carlsen. He's black, and Martinovic is white. So here we go. Notice we have very interesting points in the game that I will point out to you. And in the end, it will be also a fight to the finish. Not as much as in the previous game that he played in the Martinovic, where it was a little bit different story, up to 77 moves. This is only in the 30s, so it's a much shorter game. And here we go. Remember, Martinovic is white, Carlsen is black, and I've changed the perspective so you can see it easier with black on the bottom of the screen. So we have d4, knight of 6, c4, g6, okay, knight c3, d5, again controlling the center. We have knights out quite early and fighting for the center. Pawn takes, knight takes, bishop comes out. A direct hit here. Notice a direct hit with the pawn, hitting the d pawn, the d4 pawn. We are now move over the rook, so white is not going to be able to castle on that side anymore. Quickly moves that rook over. Continued attack on that white pawn. Takes. Now we have the knight in position where the black bishop is on the diagonal, very kind of dragonish diagonal, very strong diagonal there. Attacking the weak pawn on b2. All it needs is to have that knight disappear off of the c3 file, and we have a direct line there. So we have pressure right from the beginning. Do you see how black is not passive? Black is very strong with its attack in the beginning here. All right, so now we put more pressure on that knight. The knight moves out. Okay, the second knight comes out. Magnus castles, which white is not able to castle at all on that one side because he moved his rook. When you move a rook, you cannot castle on that side. He still has the other side available if that bishop moves out, which we shall see what he does. He does not move the bishop. He goes after that knight. Okay, so the knight goes in. It does a check. Look at this, how quickly on move 10. He is on fire here. He's like, I'm ready to be a dragon here. The Norwegian dragon. Okay, so we have a check. Takes. Look how quick the queen is up there. The queen is already up there on the 6th rank. Wow. Very aggressive play here by Magnus Carlsen in black. Maybe that's what you need to do. Never be passive with black. Be super aggressive to gain the advantage. Okay, so we have a queen exchange. Maybe that's what he wanted. He wanted to get rid of the queens. Now it's going to be how many pieces you can stay on the board. Probably a pawn and game. Okay, so we have a bishop now coming out. It's like the double bishop diagonal type of situation. The double bishops are coming up, so his idea is to do something maybe with the bishops, because he's got double bishops, whereas white has knights and one bishop is out. All right, so we now go after the weak pawns. He says, you may go after the weak pawns, but I'm going after your rook and your isolated pawn, which is not protected at all. So he moves out, takes the pawn. Look at that. So you see that? Precision. I want that pawn, I'm going to get it. And you're not going to be able to do a counter attack on me. Do you see that? This is Magnus style play. All right, so we have now the rook attacking the bishop. Wow, he doesn't care that it's unprotected. He has something, another a strong move on his mind here with, look at the pawn chain, attacking the center again, that center pawn. Is that center pawn protected? Look at it. Is anything protecting that center pawn? It's like he's one step behind. Tempo. The tempo is like off for white, like the orchestra music is off key. So he takes. So it was more valuable for Magnus to produce something on the middle of the board than to have kept the bishop. That bishop is almost like a decoy, a ploy for this move, and now it's attacking that knight. Oh, now we have a check, and then we take. Do you see this? While still menacing, that pawn is menacing that knight. Well, the knight has time to escape. Now Magnus Carlsen maneuvers his bishop out. Let's see what his plan is. Okay, now he's put the bishop in position to attack the other knight. At the same time, this bishop is protecting his knight. And who is protecting the white? I mean, the knight. Who's protecting the white knight? Is there protection? So do you see the difference now? 300 elo points. Whereas there's flustering going on the white side here. You know, there's almost well, now he is a step behind. Take. Okay, now we are in the end game. We have bishops and 2 pawns, and let's see how many pawns does white have. 1, 2, 3, 4 pawns to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that enough to win? Magnus in black is a pawn up. It may be enough to win if you maneuver correctly. Move order and ideas here. Which pawn to move? How to maneuver the knight to your advantage. Right now, the white king is on a white square. The bishop can attack it. While black's king is on a white square somehow. So that's a slight advantage, but that's Magnus. That's all he needs is a slight advantage. The black bishop, I mean the white bishop is on the black squares, and the black king is on a white square. So he doesn't need to hide. He just needs to just move. The slight advantage in just that is something that he won't have to lose a move to go onto a white square. He continues to be on a white square, the black king. While if the black king needs to take a step onto a black square in order to be protected against the black bishop, which is a white black bishop. Okay, so here we go. Look at the moves. Alrighty. Concentrate. Look, he's going on a battery. He's able to organize his pieces faster, just basically organizing his pieces faster to make them work for him, while Martinovic is just backpedaling behind on these ideas. It's like tempo. Okay, here we go. Do you see this? He's attacking the king. Can the white bishop attack the black king? No, because the black bishop is on the white bishop is on black squares. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. So here, that's what I was talking about. Look at the tempo. So now he has to lose a tempo, and the king, white king, has to go on a black square in order to be safer. And that's what he does. All right, we now go after the bishop, but notice the connection with the pawns always is very important. The pawn and the rook there. Okay, while white goes after black's bishop. Magnus says, I don't care. I'm moving my king into a better position. So hopefully maybe I can take that pawn, the c pawn, c5 pawn. All right, so he moves it there. He moves back. Let's see what the move is. Sorry. He moves it up to protect that bishop. Okay, he continues going on the white squares. The black king continues to be safe from the white bishop. And this is it. What is happening here? Well, it's an overwhelming attack. If the king managed to take that pawn, there's just too much overwhelming. One of these black pawns will be promoted, and there's just too many ways of getting, getting stuck for white. Black is ready to promote one of these pawns, and look at the advantage here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns to 3 pawns for white. Do you see? So I've given you the perspective, giving you a very good idea of when Magnus is in his zone, how well he can play, and this is how he did it with the black pieces, which is usually harder because you're down tempo because you don't start first. Okay, but he somehow here, look at this game very closely again and again and again, he managed to get the advantage in black. That is why he's a champion. He's able to do this. Okay, turn a disadvantage into an advantage. But he did it with very quick, sharp, aggressive play from the very beginning. If you notice, very beginning, he was on the attack. He ignored some threats, which would make others